Hi, folks. Welcome to another episode of Fair Wrestling 411. I'm your host, Gary Holden, Assistant AD and Sports Information Director. With me is Nate Yetzer, Head
Gary.
Wrestling Coach. Hey, great tournament for you guys.
I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
You got to be pretty pleased. The fifth place finish out of, 18 teams.
Right.
Really good finish. I arrived on Sunday. I was able to watch the first couple matches, and you guys just got rolling right through. Pushed through two into the NCAA tournament with semifinal wins.
Right.
You had to be pretty pleased with Paul Biggs and Logan Meister.
Right. I thought we wrestled really well, for the most part, and I was, especially on Sunday morning, the first two rounds, I thought we wrestled really well. But, obviously, we finished fifth, and going into the tournament, if you would asked me 2 weeks ago, I thought that's probably a good tournament for us. To be honest, we were a little disappointed because I thought we left a lot on the table, we were right in a position to be in second, if a couple things go our way, and that's how close second through fifth were.
14.5 points separated you from second place, Del Valle. College of New Jersey.
Yeah, exactly. So we were right there. I think it makes you excited for next year for the guys who didn't make the nationals because I think we're on the right track, and we only lose really two guys, so we're definitely on the right track.
Team scores and everything. Stevens Institute of Technologies won the tournament. College of New Jersey, Ursinus, a powerhouse out of Pennsylvania,
right.
And then Del Valle, another Pennsylvania school. You got to be pretty pleased. You placed ahead of some very, very prominent programs that have been around a long time. New York University's been a great program.
Right, they finished runner-up last year, and
yep.
they've had a bunch of Division I transfers, and I thought they'd be in the top three probably, and we finished ahead of those guys, and probably should finish ahead of a couple more, but we're definitely right there with all those schools. So,
Coach, let's go straight down through the brackets, if you would. I'd like to go down. Let's start with 125. Bailey Cooper ended up finishing fifth place and everything. Talk a little bit about how he did.
He wrestled a great tournament. I thought, I think the first round match, he paired up with the guy who finished in second, and then one seed, Rob Murray, and probably. He got caught a little bit. Obviously he would have a hard time winning that match. He's just too young. But he came all the way back to the Constellations, and then he finished up strong for fifth and sixth. Beat a pretty good kid, and it came down to a sudden victory. It's probably the best match he's wrestled all year, just the most solid match. And I was really proud of him finishing fifth as a freshman. I think he went in with a losing record. So he's definitely right there. So.
And he wasn't a kid who at the beginning of the year was projected to be your starter. You
exactly,
had Justin Zimmerman there. Weight was an issue.
Third string. He was third string guy. And he's a guy. Justin had weight issues, and Paul Ambrose, moved on with his career, and so I think it kind of. That's what I tell all my guys: if you're third string, fourth string, your opportunity will come. You just got to be able to be ready to seize it. And Bailey's done that. So going forward, I think he's got a very bright future. He's an awesome student. And he's a hard worker, and so he's going to have a lot of success if he stays what he's doing.
Very passionate about the sport.
Right, absolutely.
So,
yep.
All right, let's move up to 133. Robert Cunningham ended up placing fourth. Tight match down the stretch, got reversed with less than a minute to go, and that reversal cost him the match.
Right.
Talk a little bit about his performance. I know he came back from a knee injury.
Yeah, I'm very proud of him. That weight class is the toughest weight class in the tournament, hands down. I mean, I think there were probably 6 or 7 guys in there that were ranked in the top 20 in the country. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I think Robert was fifth or sixth seed. I think he was sixth seed.
Okay.
So for him to and if you would have asked me a couple weeks ago, if Robert would have been a top 4 guy, I would have said I don't think so, just because he hasn't been able to train as hard as we'd like. Didn't get a ton of matches in this year just for the fact that he's been hurt.
Sure.
And he was off for like a month and a half period of time, and I think. But he did a great job. I was really, really proud of him because he pulled a couple upsets, and overall wrestled well. Just caught a guy for third and fourth that was really hot. I think that kid lost first round. He came all the way back through.
Wow.
And sometimes those are the hardest kids to wrestle, the kids
Sure.
that really have nothing to lose, and they're really they're on a roll. So.
Right. Yeah.
But Robert's got one more crack at it, and I think we're going to get the knee fixed next week.
Okay.
And then get back on it, and I do think. With a full year under his belt, Robert's going to be dangerous, very dangerous.
Sure.
So.
And this is definitely the right weight class for him. He looked big, strong.
Yeah,
I mean,
felt good.
I felt like he looked stronger than any of the kids that he wrestled.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. He just made a mental mistake for the third and fourth place match. I think he tried to score, but you can't be mad at him because we teach always trying to score, always looking to score points.
Sure. Yep.
And I think it kind of caught him because I think he had a front headlock. I don't think it was reversal, but he had a front headlock and he tried to. Spin go behind, but he tried to hook the leg with his ankle, and it just the kid kind of peeked out on it and bear hugged him, and that was the match. So
All right, let's go move up to 141.
Yep.
You had a rookie in there, Jordan Jones.
Right.
He had not had very much mat time at all this year. You had a different 141-pounder most of the year. Had an injury there at the end of the year.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. We had. I think we had at one point we had 4 guys. We had 4 different guys wrestling that weight
The
class throughout the
141,
year.
yep.
Yeah. So Jordan Jones earned it at the end of the year, and you know, he looked very good first match. Got caught on his back early on, but came all the way back against a pretty good kid. And then you know he just did wrestle very well. To be honest with you, the second match, and I don't think he got over that last match.
Sure.
He should have won.
Yeah.
But Jordan Jones got a lot of talent. He'll be okay. He just got to keep getting better. Another freshman. So.
Sometimes you see that one loss comes back to hurt you later on. and
Right,
everything.
right. And he's going to go up next year. He's going to be 49.
49.
No question. Yeah. So.
Okay, well, let's talk about 149. Great weight class for you. Paul Biggs, his last shot at getting into the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
Parlays it, gets into the. I was there for the semifinal match. It looked as though he had riding time. It showed
Right.
exactly a minute on the clock and everything, with less than a minute to go, and it was tie score. And Paul was going to win by riding time if he could hold on. And all of a sudden, the riding time got flipped back to 59 seconds.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it was 101 to 59, and
Yeah.
I was confused, and you know, but I guess they had messed up the time to begin with.
right.
You know, Paul gave up a takedown late to I think to be losing, and he got an escape.
Right.
To tie it up.
Right.
And we thought we had riding time, obviously, and we didn't. And so Paul had to go out and score a takedown, and he did. You know,
Yeah.
the old Paul, the Paul before, probably would have lost that match. You know,
Mhm.
because he was exhausted. The kid was all over him. The kid did a really nice job, but Paul, you know, he sucked it up. And Paul earned it, man. I tell you what, he definitely earned that trip to the finals and to nationals because he's been working really hard, and he did a great job. So I'm really proud of him.
That takedown was so big. We're all Matt's side and everything. It was so exciting
Yeah,
for him.
yep.
So let's move up to 157. You got your first ever regional champion. You had 2 first evers with finalists.
Yep.
And then you got a first ever regional champion, Logan Meister. Tough match in the finals. He had actually had a couple of tough matches in the tournament.
Yeah,
close
absolutely. I
matches.
mean, that was a good weight. 57 was
Yep.
a really good weight, you know. And he, you know, the kid last year, I think that kid took 5th or 6th in the country last year. Was All American.
The kid that he beat in the finals.
Yep.
Mansella.
Yep. And to be honest, with you, I thought that was one of his easier matches. I mean, he just picked the kid apart, you know, which is kid's a big old 57-pounder too, a
Yeah.
big boy, and you know, but Logan stuck to his game plan, and I think he scored 3 or 4 takedowns. I think the kid got to lay one time.
I noticed the kid
Never
just,
in doubt.
I noticed the kid just stayed back. He was like baiting Logan to come
Yep,
in, make
yep.
a poor step in and everything,
Yep.
and take a shot at him and everything. But
Well,
Logan,
I think that's gonna
Logan
be the game
wrestled
plan.
very smart.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the game plan for most kids when they wrestle Logan. You know, because now the word's out on him, they know what the style he wrestles and all that. And I think you're gonna, because nobody can match his. I think it's intensity. You know what I mean? In hand fighting and that motion, nobody can match that. You're gonna get picked apart if you try to
Right.
play that game with him.
Right.
And I think, you know, so you know, if I was a coach, I'd probably say the same thing: stay in the middle, make them come to you, and you know, you just gotta, you know, time it, I guess, and you get
Sure.
to his legs. So, but maybe I'm giving the game plan on how to beat him. I don't know. That's probably not smart.
And we shouldn't air this video, right? Well, he had a great tournament and everything, 38-1 or something like that. Just a tremendous season so far.
Yep.
You got to feel good with him going into the nationals that you could potentially see, you know, your first All-American or better.
Yeah, well, that's the goal. I mean, the goals. I mean, I think, and it's no secret. I think, you know, our goal is to get in the finals. I think we can get in the finals for sure. And then, you know, then it's any man's game. Then, so
Sure.
it's
Sure.
so we're excited.
Yep. All right, let's talk about 165. You had another senior in there, Josh Alston. Josh was in the semifinals, ended up losing, wrestled back, got into the 3rd and 4th place match, and lost for his chance to go to the NCAAs with a loss there.
Right. Yeah. You know, Josh looked good the first day. The second day, you know, it just didn't look real good. Didn't look like Josh. You know, it just didn't have that pop, and you know, for whatever reason, that happens. But you know, heck of a career, and you know, sometimes I tell my guys, sometimes you got to judge it how far you've, not necessarily the end of the result, but how far you've come.
Sure.
And Josh is a guy who never placed in the North Carolina State tournament in high school. You know, here's a guy who's you know, took 4th at the East Regional. You know, and you know, a guy who's really bought in, and him and Paul Biggs are a perfect example of what happens when you buy into our system and you do the right things. You know, 2 of our best students, and so I think that's what happens. You know, you have success. You know, and obviously Paul or Josh fell short. I'm sure what he wanted, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm super proud of him. You know, and him and Paul both. So.
And he had a great career. He's going to
Absolutely.
graduate. Both those,
Absolutely,
Paul and
yep.
him, are going to graduate and
Right.
everything,
Yep.
and they'll be your first 2 4-year wrestlers, pretty much,
Yep.
I guess.
Yep.
So, must be excited for them. All right, let's move up to 174. Blake Rosenbaum's in this weight class. Looks like he drew a couple tough draws in there.
Yeah, you know, I think the first round, kind of killed us a little bit because Blake should have won that match. To be honest with you, he got caught, he got tilted, I think, or headlocked. I can't remember which, but he gave some big points early and came all the way back, but just kind of ran out of time. He just got to get better at wrestling. You know what I mean? His effort's great, all that stuff's great, but he makes too many big mistakes, and it costs him. At this level, at this tournament, where you see the best guy from each team, you don't see backups. I think you get exposed when you make big mistakes.
Sure.
It's hard to come back. And Blake's, made a living on being in great shape and coming back on guys, if he gets down early. But, this time he just ran out of time. It was too good.
Well, he had a great year for his freshman year.
Right,
You've got to figure this is only going to make him better for next year.
Absolutely.
Coming back. Will
Absolutely.
he stay at that weight class? Is it
Oh, yeah, I think so.
74
I never pigeonhole anybody in the weight class. We'll see. Who knows? But I do think that's a good way for him. And he needs a year to get more physically better, to be honest with you. But I'm excited about it. Disappointing tournament, obviously, for him. But I think overall the year was pretty successful. And, one thing we talk about is, I hate the excuse, I'm a freshman. Sure. That's not, to me, that's not an excuse. You can, because as hard as these guys work, you deserve just as much as the guy who's,
Sure. And at
winning.
this point, there's no freshman because you've already wrestled the whole college season.
Exactly.
It's like you're almost going into your sophomore
That's
year.
what I tell him, so.
Hopefully he'll be able to use it to get better.
Absolutely. I think he will. So.
All right, you had another freshman at 184, Hunter Goulart, won his first round match and everything, dropped a couple after that. Probably a little bit of a disappointment to him and everything, but
right.
had a pretty solid season for you.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think with the exception of Bailey, the other three freshmen, it was a disappointing tournament for him. And I think, that's not sugarcoating it. I think it's just the way it is. And for whatever reason, Hunter did a great job first match, even the second match. He's just outclassed a little bit. The kid was better than him, but he did a good job. But then the next match after that just did not look good. You know what I mean? I don't know if the weight's an issue with him or what, but just didn't finish up strong. But again, young guy, he's gonna get better. I know he's gonna do the work and what's required of him to be successful. And so with that, we're excited about the future of him. So, but
you think he'll stay at that weight class next year?
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I know he has aspirations of going up. So but at the end of the day, he's got to do what gives him, I think, the best chance of success. And I don't know what that is. It could be 97. So we'll see.
Well, let's talk a little bit about 97. You had a nice surprise there.
Yeah,
Adam
absolutely.
Bresson stepped into the lineup kind of mid-year and everything, and had a great tournament for you. Ended up finishing fifth.
Yep.
And really, I watched him have a couple tech falls in the tournament.
Right, exactly. Yep. He scored some big points for us. And, Adam had a tough year. I think he had a lot on his plate. He puts a lot of pressure on himself academically, which is good.
He's a good student.
Yep, great student. And on top of that, he's an RA. And so I think he has a lot on his plate. And so his year was very inconsistent. Like one day he would look great, next day he would not look very good. I'm talking in the practice room and on the mat. So, but I think he stepped it up at the right time. And I think that's a lot of it. That's experience too. I mean, I think he's had 2 years now. And that's something Goulart and Rosenbaum and George Jones will figure out. But I think, I was very, very proud about him. Just because it would have been easy to say, I had a bad year, and just finish up. I'll just be competitive. Sure. He went out there and he scored a lot of points for us. Was very successful. And if you would ask me this summer if I would think Adam was a top 5 guy, I would say definitely. He looked great this summer. But again, the year just was very up and down for him. Mm-hmm. And I think now that I think he has more confidence now going into the off season. I think we can really improve, and he's a guy that's talking about going down. So I don't know. We'll see.
Really?
We'll see the weights.
He looked fairly solid at 97.
He did. But I don't think Adam's cutting a lot of weight. And obviously, I think he's got to take something off his plate in order to be able to manage his weight the right way and get down to 84. But again, we'll see what happens. And now the off season is about getting better. So.
Yep. All right, let's move up to the last weight class, 285. You had Big Tate Delaney was there. Ended up making it through to the semifinals. Lost a criteria decision there, the sudden victory and everything. Came back, probably didn't get what he really wanted and everything. Had a match that he lost in the consolation semifinals that maybe he could have still won and everything. He was leading with 7 seconds to go, lost it.
Yeah. Obviously, disappointing. And he's the first one. He was the first one to admit that he was very disappointed. And for the amount of work that Tate put in, 5th place was unacceptable for him, and that's understandable. I agree with him. And I think he thought he was a top 2 guy, and he very well was really close to being a top 2 guy by 12 seconds riding time, I think, or something.
Yeah.
So, but he came back, and I don't think he really recovered off the semifinal loss, because he was up right away. Like 20 minutes later, he was up again, and he gave up an early takedown, but then he came all the way back.
Yeah.
And then and then I think he
scored a takedown at the end,
yeah,
and then they went out of
7
bounds.
seconds left, he got reversed.
Yeah.
And obviously that can't happen as a mental lapse. You know what I mean? But he sucked it up, and he realized. I think the 5th and 6th place matches, that's about team. That's about like. I got to go out and do this for the team for team points.
Right.
This has nothing to do with myself because 5th and 6th. Obviously we always want to finish as best we can, but it's sometimes hard to get motivated for that match.
Sure.
We've had one nationals.
Right.
So, but I think we went 3-0 that round, so I'm really proud of that. The guys sucked it up for the team. You know what I mean? And I think that's really important. So Tate did a good job, and obviously I think he'd like to have that match back in the Conti semis and in the semis. And next year he's gonna get another shot. So.
Sure, it's good at least that it happened during his junior year and everything. He's got that extra shot next year.
Exactly.
Had a great season for you too.
He really did.
Won 30-plus matches,
exactly.
34 matches. Other than Logan Meister, I think he's got the highest win total and everything.
Yep.
So, I've got to be pretty pleased about that. Coach, let's talk a little bit about the Nationals now.
Okay.
They're back out in Cedar Rapids, Iowa,
Yep.
where you were 2 years ago when Logan Meister qualified as a freshman. Talk a little bit about the venue that they have out there.
Oh, it's awesome. Awesome arena. I mean, you're sitting right on top of the mats. It's awesome. You know what I mean? It's in Division III. If nobody out there's been in Division IIIs, it's an awesome experience. Just because it's so fan friendly. You know what I mean? And there's each section has their own different school. Like Wabash is over here. Whitewater's over here. And
I'm sure the Wartburg and
they get really
Augsburg,
yeah,
they have
exactly.
big sections and
And
everything
they get
too,
loud.
so.
You know what I mean? It's awesome. It's a lot more vocal than it is Division I's, and it's a great environment. And they do it first class too. This really does it first class. And it's a lot of fun. And this year, hopefully, I think this year we go in with our guns blazing versus 2 years ago we went in and we were just didn't know what to expect and just hope our guys are competitive. And now we got guys who can score points out there and do some damage, and that makes it more exciting. So
it's got to be exciting going in there. And they do the walk-in, you walk in with the sign with your school and everything.
Exactly,
so instead of bringing just the one guy, now you got 2 guys in there.
Exactly.
Hopefully in the future years it'll be 3, 4, 5, 6 guys walking in there.
That's the goal. I mean, there's no reason why we can't every year keep bringing more and more guys. So.
Nate, when you started this program, you came in here 4 years ago. You've basically been here as the head coach for 4 years. The first year was just a club program.
Right.
Now you've done 3 varsity years. When you came here 4 years ago, did you have an idea of where you wanted to be? Did you feel like this would be where you would be after 3 years of a varsity program?
Yeah, I mean, I have it in my office too. I mean, I have a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 7-year plan. And we're right on pace to where I thought we would be. Last year was kind of a dip down. I thought we would be a little farther along. We just had some bad luck with some stuff, injuries and all that. But this year we're right on track where we need to be. And I think next year, going forward, I knew that my first big recruiting class, my real recruiting class, would be seniors, and that was where we're going to really knock down the door and be a top 10 team in nationals. Which I still stand by that. I mean, we get everybody back besides Paul and Josh, and I do think that we have some good guys coming in that will help soften that blow a little bit. So. There's no reason why we can't, really, to be honest. And we're right on track, and you get a guy, you get a couple All-Americans, that puts you in the top, probably 15 right there, top 16. So we're right on pace.
Yeah, we the one year I took one of my kids there and he placed 3rd in the nation, and we ended up finishing like 16th or 17th, just with the one kid in the weight class.
Exactly.
Yep. All right, so Nate, let's talk about maybe getting Meister and Paul Biggs out here next week for the next coaches show.
Absolutely.
And everything.
Right before we
Love
leave
to get them out here.
Yep.
Wish them well and everything, and let our fans see their faces and everything. Congratulate them too.
We take off Wednesday at noon. We fly to Greensboro at noon, and we get back Sunday morning. Actually, we get back pretty early. So we're really excited to get out there and make another big step for our program.
So we'll shoot for an earlier show next week, maybe Tuesday. So, folks, you can look for an earlier show with Fair Wrestling 411 with Coach Nate Yetzer and the 2 wrestlers that have qualified for the Nationals, Paul Biggs and Logan Meister. And we'll be looking forward to talking with those guys.
Absolutely. Thanks,
right.
Gary.
Well, Nate, thanks so much for coming on.
No problem.
Folks, that's a wrap. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.